Out of those teams, and I'm not being biased, Detroit and the Angels are the two best teams. That's plain and simple. They're the teams that made the biggest noise in the offseason, and they're the teams that overall, you know, you put them up on paper, have the best teams. Have they played like it? No. Detroit with a terrible start. The Angels had a terrible start, but really turned it around, and now, seem to be going on the wrong side of the mountain. But with a win tonight in Boston, maybe some things can pick up for them. Maybe it was the off day. Maybe their pitching needed some help, but their pitching has been very bad of late. And then the Red Sox in Seattle, 7.5 out. Seattle, wow. Seattle's been playing good ball lately. They've had a couple of stretches of 8-2 ball. So, and they've won 6 in a row. Their second 6 in a row, 6-game winning streak of the season. So, maybe things are looking up in Seattle. I mean, they have such a solid foundation in a guy like Felix Hernandez that, maybe he could attract some good pitchers to be behind him in the rotation. I think the biggest mistake that the Mariners made was trading Michael Pineda to the Yankees. I mean, even though they did get they got Jesus Montero, who's been pretty good for them this year, and they also got a pitcher who started the season, who for some reason his name I'm completely blanking on, but he's down in AAA now after really struggling. So that's pretty much the AL wildcard scenario right now. We're really not going to know until probably the last day of the season, or maybe a couple days before, kind of like last year. But in the National League, you have Atlanta and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh just holding on by a thread to that second wild card. The Dodgers charging hard, only a half game out, and St. Louis a game and a half out. So, you saw what St. Louis did last year. Dodgers weren't in it last year, so let's see if they can have some October magic in them. So, it's going to be fun. This is the best time of year in the Major League Baseball season. It's time to see who's real and who's not real. And we're going to find out a lot each and every day, but we're going to know when it's all said and done who's going to make the playoffs and who's going to be watching them at home. So that's what's up in baseball. Now, if we talk about football, we're going to have to talk about what seems to be grabbing the headlines in the NFL today. Maurice Jones-Drew is still holding out for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And see why he might be open to the trade when we get back. We're back. I love those little 30-second commercial breaks. Spreaker.com. I don't even know what the commercials are about, and I hope you like them, because that's what's up for for our listeners. I mean, shout out to all of them. We have a question from Harrison in Long Beach, California. He asks about this topic we're about to get to. Might Maurice Jones-Drew be open to a trade? Thanks for the question, Harrison. Yes, that's what the news is today. I mean, the big story was that he's not gonna bite. Like he's gonna stay in his holdout. It's supposedly Maurice Jones-Drew's holdout appears far from over. That's what his agent said. Straight words. His agent, Adisa Bakari, said that to the Associated Press Tuesday, that Maurice Jones-Drew, one of the best running backs in the NFL, is upset with owner Chad Kahn's recent public comments about his client's 27-day holdout. This is what he said. Well, this is what the agent said. In quote, Bakari said, Maurice wants to play for an organization that wants him and for an owner that respects him and values what he can bring to the table, on the field, in the locker room, and in the community, end quote. I mean, does that not sound like he wants to go to a different organization? I mean, this is basically what Maurice Jones-Drew wants, and the Jacksonville Jaguars, they seem like they really don't care. This is exactly what their owner said. Train's leaving the station, run and get on it. Basically saying, if you want to keep holding out, that's alright, because we're not afraid to leave without you. Maurice Jones-Drew, is he really going to lead the Jacksonville Jaguars to the playoffs? No. Might he even lead them to a winning record? No. So, if you're the Jacksonville Jaguars, you look at this situation, your running back's not cooperating, there's tons of suitors out there that would love to have Maurice Jones-Drew in the backfield. Why not trade him? I mean, it's completely unclear if he's going to play the season opener September 9th in Minnesota. I mean, he has 2 years remaining on a 5-year deal that was worth $31 million. He's going to make $4.45 million this season and $4.95 million in 2013 next season. So, the dude's coming off a career year, but he wants to be one of the NFL's highest paid backs, and Jacksonville's just not having it. He wants to be up there with guys like Adrian Peterson, Chris Johnson, LaShawn McCoy, Arian Foster, Steven Jackson, D'Angelo Williams, Marshawn Lynch. The list goes on of high-paid running backs in the league. Do I disagree with him wanting this? No. But, we saw this a couple seasons ago with Darrelle Revis, and he finally got it. I think that Maurice Jones-Drew is going to end up being traded. Who those suitors are, there's none really, because he, quote-unquote, went up on the trade block just today. So, obviously, more news is going to flow in about Maurice as this week goes on, and the closer we get to the start of the NFL season. But definitely, Maurice Jones-Drew, a head case for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Something they're not too fond of handling, and I don't blame them. So, don't be surprised if you see Maurice Jones-Drew donning a different team's uniform by the beginning of the NFL season. Real quickly, the Seahawks are expected to start their rookie quarterback Friday in their preseason game, Russell Wilson, and a source says he could win the starting job over guys like Matt Flynn and Tavares Jackson. Tavares Jackson reportedly wants to be moved as well, so we have another angry person in the backfield. This time it's quarterback, but you get what I'm saying. I'm surprised because Matt Flynn, in that one game that he played for the Packers last year, did such a great job. It's like, alright, is Aaron Rodgers really that good, or what's going on here? He threw for over 400 yards, and he hasn't looked great after signing a 3-year deal with the Seahawks. But, that's what's going up. Russell Wilson is in this quarterback battle with Tavares Jackson and Matt Flynn in Seattle, so this guy could win the starting job, this rookie QB out of Wisconsin, 3rd-round pick. He's got a good ball. He throws the ball very well. He's pretty accurate. He led Wisconsin to the Rose Bowl last year as a senior, as a transfer from NC State. So, don't be surprised to see this guy under center when the Seahawks kick it off for the first time in 2012. NBA news, since I put this tag under NBA, not much to get to, but Clippers point guard, all-star extraordinaire, Chris Paul, exhale, had successful surgery on his thumb. Good news for the Clips, who had Blake Griffin go down with a torn meniscus, but of course, Blake is going to be okay. Chris is going to be okay. And the Clippers, they're going to be better than okay this year. I really like the direction that the Clippers are going, but that is a conversation for next time. It really is. Other news, not really anything more with basketball except for this ridiculous story I was reading today. Nike's new LeBron shoe that they're coming out with is going to be about $290. Who's going to pay $290 to have the same shoes as LeBron James? Not me. I don't think anybody's gonna pay $290. You might see some college kids out there wearing it, but they sure as second is not gonna pay for that shoe. I mean, it might even retail for $315. That's another thing I was reading. So, I mean, these are the X Factor, X Motion sensors in the high shoe track various metrics, including how high the player jumps. I mean, I'm not discounting the shoe. It sounds like some nice kicks to put on when you're playing basketball, but for $315, I don't know. I mean, Nike's doing some big things with LeBron James. One more thing I wanted to get to. Unfortunately, Michael Phelps might have his gold medals revoked because he posed in a swimsuit or in a Speedo in a bathtub for Louis Vuitton. So that's something to watch out for. That'd be really unfortunate because he went out a winner, saying he's going to retire. This was his last Olympics. So he was tired of getting into the cold pools every morning and having to train for one event or a couple events and one big event every 4 years. So, I mean, I feel bad. I really feel for Michael Phelps if he doesn't get these medals. I think it's a little bit absurd of the Olympic Committee because there's this thing that you can't, if you're competing in the Olympics from a certain period to August 15th, you can't have a sponsorship deal with you. You can't have pictures taken like Phelps had, and I mean you just can't do that stuff. But it wasn't supposed to be released till the 18th, but photos got leaked on the 12th. So Louis Vuitton and Michael Phelps, you can obviously see where they're coming from. It's like, how did this thing get leaked? It's not our fault. But I hope Michael Phelps, the greatest Olympian of all time, regardless of what happens, gets to keep his good-looking gold medals. So that's something to watch for in the next week. What to watch for in the next week? Just MLB pennant race, man. We touched on it earlier. You're gonna see college football. Thank the Lord, college football finally starting next Thursday, and can't wait for that. A lot of replays of the great games of last season going on. Everyone from ESPN to CBS Sports and national sports, that's who we are. We're getting ready, and we're very pumped. We're very excited about what this college football season is going to bring to the table. So excited about that. Football hangover, football withdrawals. Watch the preseason games this weekend. Watch Russell Wilson be under center for the Seahawks Friday, and just have a good time. We're going to be back with you on Thursday night at the same time, 7 p.m. I know I was a little bit late getting on today. I was trying to get media and whatnot for the show. I was trying to find a clip where Mark Cuban called out Jason Kidd, but I'll definitely get it to you guys by next show. I'm Chris Sylvester. You've been listening to Chris's Corner for the last 29 minutes and about 20 seconds coming up on, and 30-minute show, a lot to cover, little time. Didn't really get to put my input on everything, but the one thing I know is that your ears had a good time listening to this. This is Chris's Corner, and the Chris's Corner is officially closed.